In the village of Akoko, there lived two best friends, Nkechi and Amora. Nkechi and Amora were both beautiful girls who coincidentally shared the same birthday. Since the village of Akoko was a small village where almost everyone knew one another, Nkechi's mother and Amora's mother were very good friends, and as a result, their daughters were almost like sisters. The two girls attended the same grammar school, and even though they were not in the same class, Nkechi and Amora would always hang out with each other. As children, they would play together, eat together, and sometimes dance together in the rain. Even though their houses were far from each other, they would always find a way to be in the same place all the time. As Nkechi and Amora grew older, their bond strengthened, but unfortunately, the two girls had to follow different paths because of their personalities. While Nkechi was the calm one who wanted to go to university so she could have a bright future, Amora wanted to settle down after secondary school. In fact, Amora never got to complete her secondary school education because she got pregnant out of wedlock and had to drop out of school to care for her baby. Years later, after Nkechi completed her secondary school education, she got lucky. Her maternal uncle, who lived in the city of Lagos, promised to sponsor her through the university, so Nkechi had to leave Akoko village to further her studies. 2 years after Nkechi left Akoko village, Amora got married to one of their village chiefs, an elderly man whom she believed was rich and would take care of her. Unfortunately for her, a year after their marriage, the man passed away. Around that time, Amora had just given birth to her second child when her husband passed away. A year after Amora gave birth to her second child, Nkechi completed her university. With the help of her uncle's connections, she was able to get a good-paying job in a big oil company. Before Nkechi completed her university education and got a job, she had been seeing a man named Lanre. Lanre was a hard-working man who loved Nkechi so much and was also doing well for himself. Nkechi did not know, but Lanre had been planning to propose to her. He was only waiting for her to complete her university, and as soon as she did that, he proposed to her, and Nkechi said yes. As a part of her tradition, Nkechi took Lanre to meet her parents in Akoko village, and in the process of doing that, she went to visit her old friend, Amora. Years had passed, and Nkechi had not seen Amora, so she was really looking forward to reconnecting with her friend. The day Nkechi went to visit Amora, Amora could not stop dancing in happiness. She had missed her friend so much, and above all, she was delighted that her friend was successful. Even though Amora dropped out of school, she was delighted that Nkechi had completed her university education and could even afford to buy a car. Amora even planned on using Nkechi to brag to the other villagers. On the other hand, Nkechi was not too happy to see Amora living a miserable life. Amora, who was still very young, looked older than her age because she single-handedly took care of her two children, and she had to do odd jobs just to feed them. The family members of the village chief, Amora, had kicked Amora and her newborn baby out of the house shortly after her husband died, so she had been suffering greatly. After the two friends reunited, Nkechi explained to Amora why she had returned to Akoko village. Amora said, "Nkechi, my friend, I am happy that you did not make the same mistake I made. At least one of us turned out successful, and that is my happiness. If you are sure that this man loves you, then do not hesitate to marry him. When I married Chief, I didn't love him, I only married him because I believed he would help take some load off me. Now see how my life turned out," Amora said in regret. "But Amora, you can still go back to school. It's not too late. You're still very young, and you have a bright future ahead of you," Nkechi tried to persuade her friend. "Me? Go back to school?" Amora laughed. "Where do I start from, JSS 3? My friend, please stop making me laugh. You know you were the one who loved school, not me. Even if I decide to go back to school tomorrow, who will look after my children or sponsor me? Please, let's just leave that one for now," Amora said. After Amora said that, Nkechi kept trying to persuade her, but Amora was not just interested in the school talk. She was more interested in how they would plan Nkechi's wedding and make it the talk of the whole village. The truth was that Amora was genuinely happy for Nkechi, and she supported her friend in every possible way that she could. During Nkechi's traditional marriage in the village, Amora multitasked to ensure that everything was in order. She helped with cooking, arranging, and decorating the venue, and she ran around all day just to make sure that Nkechi would not have a reason to cry or complain on her special day. Thankfully, the traditional marriage happened successfully, and Nkechi returned with her husband to Lagos. After Nkechi left, she remained in contact with Amora, and sometimes, she would send her some money to take care of herself and her children. As for Amora, to show her friend her gratitude, whenever she harvested crops like plantain, yams, or other kinds of food, including processed palm oil, she would send them in bulk quantities to Nkechi. For almost a year after Nkechi got married, the two friends continued their friendship until something terrible happened to Amora. Amora's second child had fallen very sick, and despite all her efforts to help the child get better with herbs and medication, nothing worked. Sadly, a week after her baby got sick, he died in his sleep. It was such a heartbreaking and devastating time for Amora, and she mourned her baby for days. When Nkechi learned of the tragedy that had hit her friend, she felt awful for Amora, and to make her feel better, she invited Amora to come and visit her in Lagos. Before Nkechi invited Amora to come to Lagos, she had discussed it with her husband, Lanre, and he agreed for her to come. 2 weeks after Amora lost her second child, she traveled to Lagos to stay with her childhood friend, Nkechi. On getting to Nkechi's house, Amora was shocked to see the beautiful house Nkechi lived in. "Oh, my friend, you're living in paradise, oh," Amora exclaimed as soon as we stepped into Nkechi's house. In Amora's entire life of staying at Akoko village, she had never seen a house as beautiful as Nkechi's house. Even the king of Akoko village did not live in such a big, beautiful house. That evening, after Amora arrived with her daughter, Nkechi showed her the room where she would be staying, and Amora could not stop thanking Nkechi. Even while having dinner, Amora could not stop thanking Nkechi for serving her such a delicious meal. To show her gratitude to Nkechi for inviting her over to her house, Amora would wake up very early in the morning, clean the house, and even sweep the compound. Even though Nkechi tried to stop Amora from cleaning several times, Amora wouldn't listen. She claimed that she could not stay idle while Nkechi and her husband fed her and her daughter. Initially, when Amora visited Nkechi in Lagos, she believed that she would only stay there for a couple of days, but when a month passed, and Nkechi or her husband had not said anything about her returning to the village, she became worried. "Nkechi, my friend," Amora called Nkechi when they were having breakfast one morning. "I will be going back to the village this weekend. You know it's almost planting season, and I have to go back to my farm," Nkechi said. Oh. Amora, when did you even come here that you're already planning to go back? See, I brought you here so you can come and rest properly and enjoy the change of environment. Why the rush?" Nkechi asked. "I know, my friend. I really appreciate you, but I have to go back. If I stay in Lagos, and the planting season passes, what will my child and I eat when we return home?" Amora asked. I didn't want to tell you this sooner until everything was ready, but since you're insisting on returning to Akoko, you leave me no choice. My husband and I have been planning to start a small business for you here in Lagos," Nkechi said. "Business for me?" Amora jumped up in excitement and began to dance. "Amora, calm down. You haven't even heard all I have to say," Nkechi said as she tried to hold back her laughter. "My sister, I have heard it all, oh," Amora said as she danced. "That's not all. We will also rent an apartment for you and your daughter and enroll her in a school here so she doesn't have to return to the village. Since you don't want to go back to school, at least your daughter should go to a good school," Nkechi said. As soon as Amora heard Nkechi, she screamed louder, jumped up, waved her hands for a minute and ran to hug her friend. "Thank you so much, Nkechi. I don't think I can ever repay you for this kindness you have shown me." "Thank you so much," Amara said, then went on her knees to show her gratitude to her friend. Just as Nkechi had said, she and her husband, Lanre, rented a one-bedroom apartment for Amora and her daughter, and they enrolled Amora's daughter in one of the best schools in Lagos. As for the business they talked about, they rented a big shop for Amora, where she sold all kinds of foodstuffs in bulk. To make things easier, Amora would buy the foods directly from the farmers in Akoko village at a cheaper rate, then transport them to Lagos, where she would sell them for a bigger profit. Though Amora struggled a bit at the beginning of her business, as time passed, she became very good and began to make a lot of profit from it. Even though Amora and her daughter moved out of Nkechi's house, the two friends remained in contact with Nkechi. On some weekends, they would visit each other, or Nkechi would go to Amora's shop to spend time with her. Because of what Nkechi had done for her, Amora respected her friend so much and treated her like a god. Without telling Nkechi, she would send foodstuffs to Nkechi's house, and sometimes, if she was buying new clothes or shoes for herself, she would also get them for Nkechi. Amora did all of this to show Nkechi that she truly loved her and was grateful for the help and kindness Nkechi had shown her. Through Nkechi, Amora's life changed and transformed in ways that Amora could not have imagined. Just like old times, Amora and Nkechi believed that their friendship would last forever and their children would get to be friends, just as their mothers were friends. But no one knew that envy and jealousy would soon find a place in their friendship. Months after Amora started her foodstuffs business, things were really booming for her. In fact, after Nkechi and Lanre paid her daughter's school fees that first time, they never had to pay again because Amora's business was doing so well. On some days, she sold goods worth hundreds of thousands of naira, and on some days, she sold less. But overall, she made a good profit daily. One day, one of Amora's returning customers came to her and asked if she could ship some foodstuffs abroad. The lady planned on traveling to London, and she didn't want to carry too much load with her, which was why she went to Amora. In the past, Amora had never shipped foodstuffs abroad, but after the kind lady taught her how to do it, she started shipping dried foodstuffs to the lady after she traveled. Since the lady was very kind, she connected Amora to her friends who lived in London, and they all began patronizing Amora. Through this new service, Amora made a lot of money. From there, she had the idea to start shipping foodstuffs to other countries. When Nkechi found out that Amora had started shipping her foodstuffs to other countries, she was happy for her friend's growth. She was also happy that Amora had become independent and that her life was going in the right direction. She even felt satisfied that she had not wasted her money by opening a shop for Amora. Are you enjoying this story? Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to tap the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we upload new stories. 2 months after Amora started shipping foodstuffs for her customers abroad, she met a man named Connor. Connor was a man who lived abroad, but he visited Nigeria frequently whenever he wanted to spend time with his parents and family. Connor and Amora's friendship started off as a business relationship, but when the two continued to talk often, Connor became more attracted to Amora. He loved that she was very hardworking and didn't depend on men to care for her or her child. Though Amora knew that Connor liked her, she didn't really take him seriously because she had never seen him before. She would just talk to him to spend time with him, and sometimes they would do video calls. Also, Amora never told Nkechi about Connor because she didn't want to get her hopes high. It wasn't until the Christmas season that year, when Connor returned to Nigeria to see Amora and his family, that Amora believed he was serious about everything he had spoken about on the phone. Since Connor had been married once and divorced, he didn't mind marrying Amora and taking responsibility for her child. He loved Amara so much because she was real and wasn't living a fake life like the women he had met in the past. In terms of wealth, Connor was very rich. Aside from living in Germany, he owned a few businesses in Nigeria. On the first day, Connor and Amora were supposed to go on their first date. Nkechi was in Amora's shop when Connor came to pick her up, so she had to excuse her friend. That evening, when Amora got home, she called Nkechi and told her everything about her date and how much of a nice man Connor was. From how Amora talked about Connor, it was obvious that she had fallen deeply in love with him. How long have you known this man that you're already talking about marriage? Nkechi asked Amora. After everything Amora said about Connor, that was not the response she expected from Nkechi. I've known him for months, but I only met him in person when he returned from Germany, Amora responded innocently. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad to start dating him, but you shouldn't rush this. You know how most men can be when they find out you have already been married and have a child, Nkechi said. As soon as Nkechi said that, Amora burst into laughter. Nkechi did not know that Amora had told Connor everything about her, including how she lost her second child and how she had her first child out of wedlock. No, my friend. He is not like that, and besides, he knows everything about me and he knows about my daughter already, Amora responded. Oh. You told him about her? What did he say? Nkechi asked in a disappointed tone. He loves her as much as he loves me. So you have nothing to worry about, my dear friend, Amora said. Okay, if you say so, Nkechi said. With that, they stopped talking about Connor and ended their conversation that night. For the remainder of that Christmas season, Amora and Connor went out regularly, and the more they did, the more Connor fell in love with Amora. Connor knew that he had just a few weeks left to stay in Nigeria, so he decided to propose to Amora before returning to Germany. The day Connor proposed to Amora, he told her to dress up and that they were going on a date. However, upon getting to the restaurant, Amora realized that Connor had fixed a surprise proposal for her. That day, Amora cried so much because she could not believe that Connor could love someone like her, an uneducated woman who sold foodstuffs for a living, and the worst was that she was a single mother. That evening, after Amora said yes to Connor, she called her best friend, Nkechi, and told her everything that had happened. Amora even snapped and sent Nkechi a picture of her engagement ring out of excitement. But then, when Nkechi saw the picture, she was not happy. She couldn't understand what a wealthy man like Connor saw in a lowlife like Nkechi. My friend, are you sure you are not making a mistake? This is too soon, Nkechi tried to convince Amora to change her mind after seeing the ring picture. No, my friend. I love Connor and feel at peace with him. I'm sure this is not a mistake, Amora said before she hung up. That night, after Nkechi ended the call with Amora, she could not stop thinking and couldn't sleep either. Despite being married to Lanre, having a good job, and living a comfortable life, Nkechi became very jealous of Amora. So, is this how the church rat I brought from Akoko will come and outshine me and do better than me? Nkechi soliloquized. Her English is terrible, she even dropped out of secondary school. What could Connor possibly be seeing in that dirty girl? Nkechi added. I cannot let this happen. Before I know it, I will hear that she wants to follow Connor to Germany, lie. It cannot happen. She must remain here and be indebted to me, Nkechi said to herself. With that, she made a plan to ruin Amora's relationship. 2 days after Amora shared the news of her proposal to Nkechi, Nkechi decided to find Connor on social media. When she did, she created a fake Facebook account and began sending him messages. The first day Nkechi sent a message to Connor on Facebook, she introduced herself as Cynthia. Then, she claimed that she had heard about Connor's proposal to Amora and wanted to tell him the truth about Amora. Nkechi said so many horrible things about Amora, and she even lied that Amora used to be a call girl when she was younger, that she had done many abortions which had damaged her womb, and that she would never bear a child again. Nkechi told all of those lies because she wanted to chase Connor away from Amora. That way, she would end up telling Amora, "I told you so." When Connor read all the messages he had received from Nkechi, he was shocked and even had his doubts. However, because he had spent so much time with Amora and saw her as a very transparent person, he decided to take some time away to carefully investigate what he had read about Amora. Sadly, Amora noticed Connor's sudden cold attitude and the distance. Before Nkechi lied against her friend, Connor used to call Amora at least 4 times a day. They would spend hours talking every night until they went to bed, but all that just stopped. Worried that something was wrong, Amora tried to talk to Connor, but Connor lied, saying that he had been facing some difficulties with his business and that nothing was wrong. Even though Connor tried to convince Amora that they were still on the same page, Amora still felt he was lying. Since Amora had no one else to talk to except Nkechi, her friend, she went to Nkechi and told her about all the changes she had noticed in Connor. "Didn't I tell you that it was so soon? I am your friend, and I will not lie to you. Most of these men abroad, that is what they do. They come back here and sweep you off your feet, but when they return, they start ghosting you," Nkechi said in a very bitter voice. My friend. I thought he was genuine. I didn't know this was his intention all along. What do I do now?" Amara asked. "My dear, he is not the one for you. When the one for you comes, you will know him. Just forget about Connor and focus on your daughter. She is your priority," Nkechi said. Even though Nkechi saw that Amora was very sad, and it was apparent that Connor's sudden change in behavior had affected her, Nkechi was happy that her plans were working out. She believed that it was just a matter of time before Connor would stop talking to Amora and their relationship would end. But then, something unexpected happened. After weeks of trying to investigate Amora's past life but he couldn't get any solid information, Connor decided to travel back to Nigeria to confront Amora. He didn't even tell Amora that he was returning. The day Connor showed up at Amora's shop, she was attending to a customer when Connor got out of his car and walked to her. Even though Amora was so happy to see him, she could tell from the expression on his face that something was wrong. He didn't look too happy, and Amora feared for the worst. To settle the issue once and for all, Connor showed Amora the messages he had received from Cynthia, which was Nkechi's fake name, and Amora was shocked. She told Connor that she had never had a friend named Cynthia and had no idea who could tell such terrible lies about her. Though it took Amora a long time, she eventually convinced Connor that everything he had read was all lies. She swore that she had never been a call girl in her life and that she had never had an abortion either. Fortunately for Amora, Connor trusted her, and despite the lies he had read, he was ready to marry her. Since Connor had seen that someone had tried to sabotage their relationship, he knew that the same person would still try to ruin their wedding. So, he warned Amora not to tell anyone about their wedding plans and preparations until everything was set. Sadly, Amora did not listen. Since she trusted Nkechi so much, Amora could not wait to share the good news with her. That same day, Amora texted Nkechi that she had settled things with Connor, and they were already beginning to make preparations for their wedding. Nkechi was shocked when she heard that Amora and Connor had made up. She was even furious that her plan had failed, but since they were planning their wedding, that meant she had a second chance to destroy everything. This time around, Nkechi even swore that she would rather kill Amora than let her marry Connor and become more successful than her. A week after Connor returned to Nigeria to meet Amora, they began their wedding preparations. Even though Connor had warned Amora to remain discreet about their wedding plans, Amora had already told Nkechi about everything because she trusted her friend completely. In fact, there was no step Connor and Amora took concerning their wedding plans that Nkechi did not know about. Starting from the gown Amora would wear to the hall they would use for their reception, Nkechi knew everything. But despite how Amora carried Nkechi along, Nkechi was not satisfied with the little information she got. "My friend, when will you introduce me to your husband-to-be? You know we are family, and it won't be right if he doesn't even know me," Nkechi said to Amora. That day, Nkechi had visited Amora at her shop as usual, so she used the opportunity to convince Amora to introduce her to Connor. "You're right. You're like family to me. Even if Connor doesn't know other people, he is supposed to know you because we have been friends since childhood," Amora said. Now you're talking. How will my best friend be getting married, and I haven't officially met her fiancé?" Nkechi said. "Don't be angry, my friend, you will meet him soon," Amora said. Amora did not know, but the reason Nkechi wanted to meet Connor was because she had ulterior motives. Aside from meeting Connor for formality, Nkechi's plan was to get closer to the couple and earn Connor's trust so that she could carry on with her evil plans. 2 days after Nkechi visited Amora at her shop, Amora met with Connor to discuss some of their wedding plans. "Baby," Amora called Connor, "I know you said that we should keep our wedding plans a secret until everything is set," Amora said. "Yes, and you know why I said so. We cannot trust anyone," Connor said. "I know, but you remember that my childhood friend I told you about, the one who helped me after I lost my husband years ago," Amora said. "Yes, Nkechi, right. What about her?" Connor asked. "So, I told her about you, and she wants to meet you. I think it's right if you meet her. She's the only friend I have," Amora said. "Did you tell her about our wedding plans?" Connor asked, but Amora did not answer. "Amora, I told you not to tell anyone until everything was set. People cannot destroy what they do not know about," Connor said. "I know you did, but I trust Nkechi with my life. She is a good person and would never want to harm me," Amora defended her friend. "In fact, when you meet her, you will see that she is an angel," Amora added. "Babe, people can be deceptive at times. Are you enjoying this story? Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to tap the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we upload new stories." Not Nkechi. "I'm sure she even wants this wedding to hold more than I do. Please just agree to meet her, and I will take care of the rest," Amora said. "Okay, I will meet her. I will be free this weekend, so you can pick a day between Saturday and Sunday," Connor said. "Thank you so much, baby," Amora hugged and kissed Connor. Immediately after their discussion, Amora called Nkechi to tell her about the plan. "Sure, I'll be free this weekend. Let's pick Sunday, so Lanre will be home to help me watch the kids," Nkechi said. "Okay, then, Sunday is fine. I will text you the location on Saturday or Sunday morning unfailingly," Amora said before ending the call. As soon as Amora ended the call, Nkechi clapped her hands excitedly. "Yes, things are now going as I have planned. Let me see who will deliver you from my hands this time," Nkechi soliloquized. On Sunday morning, just as Amora had promised, she texted Nkechi the address of the restaurant they were to meet at, and later that evening, Nkechi showed up. "Nkechi, this is Connor, my husband-to-be." "Connor, this is Nkechi, my best friend," Amora said. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you," Connor said to Nkechi. "The pleasure is mine," Nkechi responded. Shortly after Nkechi and Connor officially met, the three of them began to discuss as if they were old friends. Before going to the restaurant, Nkechi's plan was to make Connor feel comfortable so that she would earn his trust. Luckily for Nkechi, her plan worked. In less than 3 hours of spending time with the couple, Connor began to tell Nkechi about some of their wedding plans. "So, have you guys picked a date for the wedding yet?" Nkechi asked. "Oh no, not yet. But we are looking at 3 to 4 weeks from now," Amora answered. "That's fast, I'm sure you can't wait to move in with him," Nkechi teased Amora. "My friend, you already know. I can't wait to be called Mrs. Connor, Amora answered jokingly. So after your marriage, what next? Will Connor be moving back to Nigeria, or will you follow him to Germany? Nkechi asked. We haven't talked about that yet. For now, getting married is our priority, so when we get to that bridge, we will cross it, Connor answered. Okay, I wish you two the best. Also, my friend here is very important to me, so please take good care of her. I know you're a good man, and from the way she is glowing, I can see that you're already doing a great job, Nkechi teased Connor. Later that evening, after Amara, Connor, and Nkechi had finished eating and drinking, Connor and Amora left together while Nkechi left alone. So, did you like my friend? Amora asked Connor excitedly as they drove to Connor's house. Yes, she seems nice, but her curiosity is suspicious. Did you notice how she wanted to know everything happening in your life? Connor said. But that's normal. She is my best friend, and I can assure you that there's nothing suspicious about that. Maybe she was just trying to find out if we are on the same page, Amora said. Amora, just be careful. Also, I want you to know that it's not everything you should tell Nkechi. Learn to keep secrets no matter how much you trust her, Connor said. Okay, I have heard you. I know you just met her, maybe with time, you will get to know her better, Amora said. Okay, if you say so. All I can say is, be careful. People cannot destroy what they do not know about, Connor said. When Nkechi arrived home that evening, she called Connor and Amora to thank them for hosting her. From how she sounded so friendly on the phone, Connor could tell that Nkechi was faking something, but he didn't mention it to Amora because he knew she would try to defend her friend. Instead of pointing fingers at Nkechi, Connor decided to do some investigations. In the days that followed, Amora, Nkechi and Connor got closer. Not only that, but Nkechi also helped in making their wedding preparations. Nkechi told the couple she wanted to help plan their wedding, and Amora happily agreed. To Amora, there was nothing wrong with her best friend helping out with their wedding. Also, since Nkechi would be her maid of honor, it made sense for Nkechi to help plan the wedding with her. 2 weeks after Nkechi and Connor officially met for the first time, Amora and Connor picked a wedding date and told Nkechi about it. I thought you guys said the wedding would be in a month, Nkechi asked in a confused tone. Yes, but I have something I need to go back and do in Germany, and I cannot afford to waste any more time, Connor said. Okay, I understand. There is no problem. We will hasten up our planning, Nkechi said. That evening, after Nkechi left Connor and Amora, she went straight to a native doctor's house. Baba, there has been a change of plans. I will need the poison faster, Nkechi said to the native doctor. Didn't you tell me that you would need it in 2 weeks? The old native doctor asked Nkechi. Yes, I did. But I met with my friend and her husband today, and they told me that the wedding is happening in 2 weeks, Nkechi said. Okay, do not worry. Come back a day before the wedding, the poison will be ready. You know I'm making it out of roots, and it takes time to prepare it, the older native doctor said. Thank you, Baba, Nkechi thanked the man, then she left. Nkechi's plan was to either poison Amora's food or drink, but the tricky part was that Amora would not die immediately because of the type of poison. Nkechi had asked the native doctor to prepare a slow poison for her, the kind that would take at least 24 hours to kill Amora after she ingested it. That way, no one would suspect her of poisoning her friend. As she had planned, a day before Amora's wedding, which was also the day of Amora's bridal shower, Nkechi went to the native doctor to get the poison. Since Nkechi and Connor had planned a surprise bridal shower for Amora, Nkechi had already planned everything. All she needed was for Amora to show up at the venue, but unfortunately for Nkechi, that never happened. Although something terrible had happened to Amora earlier that day, it was God's way of preserving her from her friend's evil plan. That afternoon, while having her bath, Amora slipped and fell in the bathroom, and she passed out as a result of that. Thankfully, Amora was at Connor's house when she fell, so Connor rushed her to the hospital. When Nkechi heard Amora wouldn't make it to their planned bridal shower, she was very mad. The worst was, after Amora regained consciousness, the doctor who attended to her warned her not to do anything stressful because of how stressed out she was. "Connor, I cannot believe you're postponing the wedding because Amora fell. It was just an accident, and things like this happen all the time," Nkechi said to Connor. Upon getting to the hospital to visit Amora, Nkechi was shocked to hear that Connor had postponed the wedding. "Haven't you seen your friend? She is stressed out and needs to rest," Connor said. "Yes, I understand that. But what about all the plans we have made? The food, decorations and everything else?" Nkechi asked. "Look, Nkechi, I know you're concerned. But everything you just mentioned is nothing compared to Amora's health and well-being. I want her to recover first, then whenever she is ready, we can carry on with the wedding. Honestly, I don't mind paying for the hall, food and event planners again," Connor said. That's okay. You're right. Her health is our priority now, and I hope she recovers soon. Let me go home and cook something for her. I'll be back in 3 to 4 hours, Nkechi said. "Oh, there's no need for that. I cooked something special for her already, so when she's awake, she will eat that," Connor said. Oh, Connor, my friend is on the sickbed. The least I can do for her is make a nice pot of pepper soup for her," Nkechi said. "I don't want you to stress yourself out, Nkechi. You have done enough for her already," Connor said. "Alright. I'll be on my way now. Please let me know when she wakes up so I can come back," Nkechi said before leaving. As soon as Nkechi got into her car, she screamed and hit her steering in anger. "Who does this girl think she is?" Nkechi soliloquized. See the way Connor was acting like a love-struck puppy. He even had the mind to postpone a wedding that all the preparations had been made, just because that stupid Amora passed out from falling. Nkechi said in a furious tone, "No problem, the battle line has been drawn. If I don't kill her before her wedding, then my name is not Nkechi," Nkechi added before driving out of the hospital's parking lot. Hours later, when Amora woke up, Nkechi was the first person she asked after. Even Amora did not know that Connor had postponed their wedding. "But Connor, you should have discussed this with me first before postponing it," Amora said in a sad tone. "My love, you should know that every decision I make is for your sake. Even if you want us to get married in the next 5 days, we can. But right now, I need you to get enough rest," Connor said. "But what about all the plans and preparations we made? What will happen to them?" Amara asked. "We will make new plans. I have contacted the caterer to give the food to those who need it. So, nothing has been wasted," Connor said. "Connor, you're throwing money away. How can you tell the caterer to give out all that food to people? The food that was meant for our wedding," Amora said in an angry tone. "Amora, all that is important right now is that you get better. Food is the least of my worries," Connor said, "and I don't want you to complain anymore," Connor added. "Okay, no more complaints, but promise me that we will get married as soon as I leave this hospital," Amora said. "I promise," Connor replied, and then he kissed Amora softly on her forehead. Luckily for Amora, she didn't stay too long in the hospital. She spent only 3 days there before being discharged. After Amora was discharged, she thought she would be going home, but she had no idea Connor had other plans. "Where are we going to?" Amora asked when she noticed Connor was not following the usual route to his house. "To the airport," Connor responded with a broad smile on his face. "But you didn't tell me you were picking someone from the airport," Amora said. "I'm not picking anyone up from the airport, Amora. We are traveling to a place where you can rest with no distractions, Connor said. Really? Amora asked excitedly. How long will we be away for? She added. For as long as you want, my love. I just want you to relax and take your mind off everything that has happened, Connor said. Did you know we were traveling? Amara turned to her daughter, who was in the car's back seat, and her daughter nodded. Oh, so you guys are now a team. You're now doing things with your daddy alone, right? Amora asked in a playful tone. No, Mommy, Daddy told me to keep it a secret, her daughter said. It's okay. Let's go and have fun, Amora said. About an hour after Amora, Connor and her daughter arrived at the airport, they boarded their flight and to Amora's greatest surprise, they were traveling to Dubai. Amora was so excited to travel to Dubai, the same Dubai she had heard so many beautiful things about. Also, it was Amora's first time traveling by air or leaving Nigeria, so she could not hold back her excitement. Meanwhile, before the plane took off to their destination, Connor warned Amora not to tell Nkechi they were traveling. He also warned her not to send any pictures to Nkechi until they completed their stay in Dubai, and Amora listened. What Amora did not know was that Connor had planned a big surprise for them in Dubai. A day after Connor and Amora settled, Connor took Amora shopping because he claimed he wanted to take her for a dinner date that evening. He persuaded Amora to take a beautiful white gown with silver designs, and she did. Unknown to Amora, she had just gotten herself a wedding gown. It wasn't until Amora showed up at the venue that evening that she realized she was going to her wedding. Connor, are those not your sisters? What are they doing there? Amora asked in shock. Yes, there are. They came here to see us, Connor said. Before Amora could understand what was going on, she saw Connor's parents and some of his very close friends at the venue. Connor, why are we here? Amora asked. We are here for our wedding. You told me you wanted a wedding as soon as you were out of the hospital, and I made it happen, Connor said, smiling broadly. Oh, Connor, you didn't have to go through this stress, Amora hugged him excitedly. The next thing, Connor and Amora walked down the aisle, and the priest who was already waiting for them joined them as husband and wife. Even though Amora was sad that Nkechi could not attend her wedding, she was glad she had finally married Connor. That evening, after Amora and Connor retired to their hotel room, Amora called Nkechi and told her how Connor had taken her to Dubai and how he had planned a surprise wedding for them. Connor is not a good person. I was with him at the hospital, and he did not tell me anything. Anyway, I'm sure if he had, I would have ruined the surprise with my big mouth, Nkechi said. Nkechi, I didn't tell you because you're not a good person. When did you plan on telling your friend that you're the enemy of progress she has been running from? Connor said. I don't understand you, Connor. What do you mean? Nkechi asked. Are you not Cynthia? The same one who chatted with me and told lies about Nkechi? Connor asked. Me? I don't know what you're talking about, Nkechi lied. Oh please, cut the pretense. I did my investigations and found out about a week ago that you're Cynthia. My question is, what did your friend do to you that you hate her so much? Connor asked. This village rat is not my friend. We are not even in the same class, so she isn't my friend, Nkechi said aggressively. Oh. Nkechi, so it's true, Amora asked in shock. Do you see the idiot you just married? The signs were right before her, but she was just too dumb to see it, Nkechi said. Oh, Nkechi. I thought you were my friend. How could you be so wicked? Amora said in a teary voice. I don't know what Connor saw in a lowlife like you. You should be in your pathetic foodstuff shop selling by now. You should be indebted to me forever. After all, if it wasn't for me, you and your stupid daughter would still be living miserably in Akoko village, Nkechi said. Didn't I tell you that your friend could not be trusted? I hate to say, "I told you so," Connor said. "I can't take this," Amora said before ending the call. Amora was so devastated and heartbroken by her friend's betrayal that she couldn't stop crying for days. Luckily for Amora, Connor was by her side the whole time, and he comforted her. To avoid taking any chances, Connor and Amora remained in Dubai until Amora and her daughter's German visa was approved. As soon as it was, the couple traveled to Germany and started a new life there. Amora never spoke to Nkechi again after that day. She cut all ties with Nkechi and blocked her on all their mutual social media platforms. As for Nkechi, when her husband found out that she tried to ruin her best friend's life, he divorced her and took their children with him. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite part in the comment section below. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to tap the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we upload new stories. Thank you.